FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome, and you are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz, and today is September 10th, 2018. Don't forget, October is National Lie to Your Pollster Month. Whatever they ask you, just lie to them. Don't give them any straight answers. And if we make those polls inaccurate enough, eventually they'll go away, because before there was fake news, there was polling. And it's been going on for 160 years now. It's almost 200 years. 1828 or 1824 was the first straw poll done for Andrew Jackson, and turned out it was a local poll, but it was correct. He won the election. So, we're looking at 190 years where polling has gotten more and more fraudulent by the day. Hey, right now, as always, just write us with your concerns. Be a part of the show. Email address kl@kerrylutz.com. We answer all. Well, David Horowitz is with us now, and you know David Horowitz quite well, frontpagemag.com and a lot of other places. David, welcome back.
Thank you.
Hey, so we've got this election shaping up here in sunny South Florida, where I happen to live, and DeSantis is being challenged by a young upstart communist mayor of Tallahassee.
Corrupt communist mayor.
Well, that goes hand in hand. You don't have communist and a racist, and probably wears Colin Kaepernick socks and kneels for the Pledge of Allegiance at public events. Who knows what this guy is capable of? But meantime, you've got
worth probably now $200 million.
Yeah, and
who claims to be a victim.
Yeah.
Oppressed
victim. He's worth $200 million. Isn't that beautiful? Hey, so you've gotten dragged into this Florida gubernatorial election, haven't you, David?
Of course, since I, like every outspoken conservative who has any impact, I've been the subject of character assassinations for a decade now. Mm-hmm. I have the Common Cause, which was once a liberal organization, calling me a white supremacist, which is so laughable. Unlike most people, I've written about 2 million words on political, racial, all these issues. They're all published. There's got to be 100 hours of me on YouTube.
Easy.
Common Cause doesn't begin, it's just repeating lies, smears that the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is, a $300 or $400 million hate machine, puts out. People for the American Way, the same thing, they draw on them. So they call me both a white supremacist and a racist and a sexist, of course.
That wasn't enough.
And this had serious repercussions. I gave a speech to ALEC, which is a bipartisan organization of several thousand state legislators. I got a standing ovation and cheers for my speech, which is up at frontpagemagazine.com. And they were so offended by it because it was an attack on liberals and leftists and Democrats that they organized instantaneously a boycott. 78 organizations, including Common Cause and People for the American Way. And I mention them because they have a liberal aura. The rot is so deep in the left. It's a malevolent evil that's infected leftists to a man and woman. I mean, you don't see any. You didn't see any protests of the attacks on our democracy at the hearings for Judge Kavanaugh. These mobs that were organized to break up, to interrupt and interfere and obstruct, a process of our democracy. I'm glad they put those people in jail. I'm sure they didn't put them in long enough.
No, definitely not.
But you didn't see one Democrat protest that. And the same thing here. You'd think one voice would say, look at the Southern Poverty Law Center. They can't find one sentence of mine in those 2 million words.
Yes.
That is a white supremacist. It's so insane. I mean, we see this daily in the attacks on President Trump. But he at least has a really powerful bully pulpit to fight back. But, you think of all the conservatives out there, all the Republicans who are defamed, slandered, character assassinated on a daily basis.
Yeah, all the time.
By people, you should never call them liberals. They're bigots, vindictive, unscrupulous bigots is what they are. But that's our political situation today, and they have no policies. Their policies will bankrupt the country and bankrupt everybody in it. Medicare for all, free education for all, and so forth and so on. Not to mention, open our borders. We already have, there's almost 200,000 illegal aliens in jail.
Yeah.
There's, I saw one immigration expert say that there's probably 1 million crimes, because there's there's identity theft and so forth that are being committed by, not to mention rapes and murders by illegal aliens.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's really sad what's happened to our country.
Yeah, well, can Trump win this? That's the question here.
Yeah,
is he winning?
I mean, you have to know a lot about, which I don't, about particular races. But the reality is that the people who voted for Trump can see what's going on, and they've stuck with him because of that. He's done great things for this country. I will say he's the most effective president in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And that includes Reagan. I mean, Reagan did a great thing with the Cold War, but he had aside from the fact that he got shot, he had a Democratic Congress. So he was pretty limited in what he could do. I've never seen anything like this. I don't think anybody else has either.
Definitely.
All the things that Trump has done. And, to me, the one I'm most impressed with is the one I least understand. I mean, I always try to be a niche player. That is, what conservatives do well, which are things like the economy, I leave to others. But look at what he did with this, the trade war. I mean, our country is being fleeced by the Europeans, by the Chinese, by the Japanese, by the Canadians, by the Mexicans.
Everybody.
When we're funding other people's countries. And this guy, this trade war threat, which was brilliant, everybody was against it.
Yeah.
Wall Street was against it. Never Trump or Republicans, they're all against it. They all said this won't work. And this guy stood up. I mean, I can't imagine how difficult that is to stand up to all these attacks and then win.
Yeah.
He was right. They were all wrong.
Talk about winning, huh?
Yeah, I mean, this guy has, he's got a spine of steel. I can't imagine, we all draw, we're all vulnerable to our enemies, in taking in their opinions of us. And so we require support. And he does have the support of middle America, which is great. But the attacks on him they're daily, they're all the time. He's got all these corrupt networks run by sexual predators to boot, attacking him. Every time you turn on CNN at any time of the day or MSNBC, all it is attacks on Trump, and he's withstood all that.
Yeah, it's the all-attack network.
We're all used to Republicans folding and apologizing for themselves, withering under attacks. And that's all changed with Trump.
Yeah, it's very true. Couldn't agree with you more, David. So it looks like they're out to stop him any way they can, but it looks like the Mueller probe is coming up lemons, isn't it?
It's a disgrace. This is worse by 100 times with anything that Joseph McCarthy ever did.
Yeah, McCarthy was a moderate.
This is a complete fraud. They're attacking when Trump says he wants the Justice Department to investigate. The writer of the anonymous column in the New York Times saying that this writer said he's high up in the Trump administration, does everything he can to thwart the president.
Pretty sickening.
The executive branch has 140,000 members. Only 2 are elected, which is Trump and Pence.
Yeah.
So this is a treasonous act to subvert an elected president. Of course, it's what the Democratic Party is doing.
That's what they're all about.
An elected president. I forgot your question while I'm going on about this.
Is he?
Mueller.
Yeah.
So how is the left attacking him? Well, the Justice Department can't investigate unless there's a crime that's been committed.
You would think.
Well, what's the crime that Mueller is investigating? There is none.
Yeah.
There is none. $20 million he's spent trying on a fishing expedition. It's what the head of the KGB, Lavrenti Beria, said to Stalin. Show me the man, I'll find you the crime. That's what Mueller is doing. It's disgusting. He should be in jail himself. It's just unconscionable, except the whole cultural elite which controls the media and the universities. They all hate Trump. And they hate Trump because they actually despise America. They don't like America. If you're a patriot, you're a white nationalist.
Yeah.
One of the things I've been attacked for is pointing out, why slavery was a terrible institution. We inherited it from the British. The black slaves were all enslaved by blacks in Africa.
Yeah.
Europeans didn't go over to Africa and throw nets over Kunta Kintes. They went to slave auctions in Ghana and Benin, where African kings sold slaves they already had enslaved to the Europeans and to the Americans. And America is it's the first country in the world pledged to the proposition that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with a right to liberty. And within a generation or so, at the cost of 350,000 white lives, blacks were freed. Blacks should be very grateful to this country for freeing them from slavery. But you say that, and you're a white supremacist. So stupid. It's just a fact. Americans can be very proud. We can't be proud of segregation, but that was the South.
Yes.
Anyway, I think that the whole left is infected with anti-Americanism.
Oh, yeah.
The hatred for our country. That's why they want open borders.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen, everybody should, I don't know if I can't quite say the title of this on the air, but Paul Joseph Watson
has
a video up called Paris is an S-hole.
Right. I watched it.
It's frightening. They have destroyed Paris. Arab Muslims. Mm-hmm. And of course, I mean, that's the fact. But if you say that, they call you an Islamophobe. Mm-hmm. Like you're against all Muslims. No. We're against the Muslims who have invaded Europe and are destroying it as we speak.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Paris is over. You wouldn't want to go to Paris today.
They have a bulletproof shield up in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower, 30 million euros, insane. I think it cost.
That's just the craziest thing. So
you can't treat Islam as a religion like Judaism and Christianity, because it's never had a reformation, and its prophet, not only was he a child molester, but he was a bloodthirsty warlord who committed genocide and called on his followers to kill all the Jews, and to make Christians, they killed hundreds of thousands of Christians in the last decade, thanks to Obama.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. So can we win this fight? Do we want to win it? Do we have the will? Does
we
the
can
West
win
have
it
the will?
if conservatives will stop being so. Well, they are. I mean, there's been a transformation in the last decade. The conservatives aren't as complacent as they once were. You have to understand, this is life and death for everything you believe in and cherish.
It's existential.
You got to go out there and fight.
It's existential, right?
It is.
It really is. So that's what we're up against here, David. What has your group been doing lately to fight the invasion?
Well, we're trying to launch a campaign to stop the K-12 indoctrination. You go up to our website, Stop K-12. This is all one word and no hyphens. Stop K-12.
Stop K-12.
Indoctrination.org. You'll see the atrocity that is the public school system now against very small children. Teaching kindergartners about this gender fluidity, attacking police, organizing, well, you saw them organize students to go out for gun control, and recruiting them for the Democratic Party, calling Trump and Republicans racist.
That's all they got.
Singling out white kids for white skin privilege. I mean, it's gross.
Yeah, but that's all they have. They have no legitimate arguments to make here, David. I mean, it's, we hate Trump. That's not an argument. I don't know if they're aware of that or not. But and the other reason why I think they have to lose is because in American politics, traditionally, you've never had people win by being against something. They win based on being for a vision, for an idea. That's how you win in American politics. But you don't win just by being against Trump. That's not a winning concept here. You have to be for something, right?
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Always hold my breath as elections roll around here.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Because people have to stand up to a blizzard of lies against Republicans and against Trump.
Yeah, very true.
And Republicans are still way too polite.
Yeah, well, they've definitely transformed, though, since Trump. You know, there's definitely changes.
They've begun. I'm giving you that.
They're not where they should be. But, do you remember George Allen? He was a senator, back,
I knew him,
2008, and he was, by all accounts, he's probably the best qualified, best likable, most likable person. And yet, he's made a comment, macaca, at a conference, at a speech, and they said it was racist. And rather than standing up to it, he went on an apology tour that made Obama's apology tour look very, very tame by comparison. And as a result, he retired from the Senate and never ran for president. And that was a lesson there to the Republicans, which they failed to understand, is when you apologize for something that you didn't do, that shows total weakness. And one thing Americans hate more than anything in their politicians is perceived weakness. And they just won't forgive you for that. They'll forgive you for crossing your words or whatever, but they're not going to forgive you for being weak, are they?
No. Oh, no, they just take advantage.
Yeah. So there's a lesson.
Looking for.
Yeah, exactly. They want someone with a spine.
It's like when there's a chicken in the yard who develops a cut, the others will pick it to death.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what's happening.
And that's pretty accurate sort of vision of what the left is about.
Oh, totally.
A mob that will peck you to death.
Yep, I totally agree. And, I think they've gotten a little bit smarter about it, and let's hope it continues, that Trump has set an example for them, and, they're ready to lead rather than to crawl in a corner, and every time the going gets bad, they're
Well, I'm very pleased that there are a lot of Republican elected officials who are behind Trump now.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Definitely.
really important.
For sure. Well, anyway,
so
David.
Everybody out there, go and fight.
Yeah.
If you lose these battles, there won't be any in the future. They'll be locking us all up.
Yeah, totally correct.
Trust me. Yeah.
I know. So where's the best place to find you out these days, David?
Well, my website is frontpagemagazine.com or frontpagemag.com. Mm-hmm. People interested in my writings can go to blackbookoftheamericanleft.com.
Yeah.
And if you want to find out about our K-12 campaign, we have a code of ethics that we need to get legislated that would prevent teachers from advocating for partisan causes in the classroom from kindergarten through 12th grade.
Yeah, you got to get them early, because if you let them do it, you know what's going to happen, right?
Yep.
So, all right. Hey, we'll have a link, as always, to your site on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. It's always great having you on, David. And, hey, let's see what happens. We have reason for optimism.
Appreciate it.
Hey, we'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks for being on.
Okay.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.